And welcome inside the Backstage Pass for a Monday. Hard to believe it's the second week of May. Before you know it, it'll be summer vacation for a lot of people, including myself, no doubt about it. And presented by our good friends over at Bangtail Whiskey. If you haven't checked them out, check them out at bangtail.com and, of course, over at Easy Liquor, the app, or easyliquor.com to get that order put in right away. It should be the summertime drink for everybody out there. And our good friends at MitchMacs.com, who we'll be seeing here in a couple of weeks at a couple of shows we go to there in Alabama. MitchMacs.com, the official merchandise provider of the show, and our good friends at Hank Jr. Productions. Brandon Morrell flying solo here as Kirsty Krause gets back from the Songwriters Festival in Key West, Florida. She's traveling en route to that, so I hope to get her back on the show coming up this week. And I love to call this show the Texas Two-Step, but this is going to be the Taylor Two-Step today, as we have a couple of fantastic artists with the last name of Taylors coming on the show. First up is Christina Taylor, back here on the Backstage Pass, again powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com. We're live at that website and on YouTube. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing? Thanks for having me on again.
It's been busy ever since we got back from one trip to Nashville, and it just it ups your game. It just blows through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta start
for that with the connection making and all that.
There's no doubt about it. Well, hey, you've had a lot of things going on, but I'm gonna bust right out of the gate as I do, because this single, Somebody Will, which you're gonna perform for us today, yourself and your guitar player there, it is amazing the response you've gotten from your fans on such a beautiful song that has so much meaning to it. Talk a little bit about just the idea behind the song, the recording process of it, and did you expect 6 million plus streams?
No, I did not expect the, even just on TikTok, how it really did good on TikTok, and seeing, all the messages. I know we were talking before we went live. I was telling you how I get so many messages every day, just being like, this is literally exactly what I'm going through right now. And, I think the idea for the song, I feel like there's so many people in today's day and age where you're in these relationships where they won't call it what it is, even though it is that you're dating. And they settle for people that do that because they don't think that they can find any better. They think it's just the best they're going to get, and they should just, accept it. And I remember being that way at one point in my life. And, now that I let go of that mindset, I found someone. I have a fiance who, did not care. He called it what it was. He called me his girlfriend from the get-go, and that's what these people deserve. And so it really just wanted the song to be a reminder for people in today's day and age. Like, don't settle for someone just because you think it's the best you're going to get. There is someone out there that's going to treat you the way you deserve.
Hey, you really poured your heart into this one. Talk about just the great writing behind it, some terrific lyrics, and the two different versions you put out. We were talking a little bit before we went live. That single that came out there, of course, the production version with what you guys did in studio. And then what I loved about it is you put a different spin on it with the acoustic version of Somebody Will, which people can check out across all the digital platforms out there. So the two different versions must have been really cool to kind of hear the different instrumentation of each song, of each version of the song.
Yeah, I love doing an acoustic version to my songs because I feel like it almost gives it another life. The original one's good for, it's got a little bit more energy behind it if you're kind of in that mindset to, put the windows down in your car and like scream to something, which is what a lot of the messages that I get are like, I'm literally like screaming this from my car every day. And then you have the acoustic version that's a little bit more scaled back. Maybe if, you're in, maybe a little more of a sad kind of mood. Like, it is kind of more of a ballad when you do have that acoustic version, that more stripped vibe. So I think the two versions are good for different times and different moods. And it's really cool that you're able to give one song two different lives.
It's not the first time you've had songs, really just catch fire out there too. I remember the hit As Good As You Look. Talk about that one too, building on that. And then the second one, if I remember correctly, was Setting Myself on Fire. You've had a lot of great tunes out there that have done very well for different platforms out there. It's just a key to, I think, credit to your work ethic. And I bet songwriting means a lot to you as well too, right?
Yeah, for sure. I got to have a hand in writing all of those songs that you just named. So it's so fulfilling to see the stuff that you thought of and the ideas that you thought of and you put down on paper, to see it jive with so many people in the world is really, really fulfilling. And another song of mine that took off that I actually didn't write, but a good friend of mine wrote it, and she offered it up to me because she wasn't going to be cutting it, was a song called Damn Boy, which is actually my last single that I put out. I want to say I put it out in October of 2021, and that one did great on TikTok as well. So it's been really awesome to be able to have that success there. I know not everyone, TikTok can be a hard platform. So I'm very thankful that people, want to listen to my stuff and want to follow me. It's really awesome.
Speaking of following too, man, the great following you're getting from just a lot of the big media out there, CMT, over in the UK, you've built a huge, strong fan base too at the same time. The country source, all this different is pretty cool to see this kind of following and to see you grow as an artist since we first met. I believe it was 2019, and you've been a regular guest with us here on the show. We appreciate that. Just see your career take off and all the big media get behind you, us included. I just really commend you on just great work ethic, a great body of work, great selection of songs. What does that mean to you to get all the different publications behind the, I guess, on the Christina Taylor bandwagon? Must mean a lot.
Oh my gosh, means so much to me. And, I know your viewers, you have so many viewers, and, other publications, being able to be in front of all the people that like to watch you guys, is so awesome. That's what every artist strives for. So, no, it's amazing.
I love it too. Well, again, the single is Somebody Will. It's out there across all the platforms, the acoustic version, and of course the recorded version that came with studio. You guys can check it out. Just last week, came out May the 6th, right there before Mother's Day. So if you guys haven't checked it out, make sure you do that too. We'll talk a lot more about a lot of the other great songs out there too. I'll tell you what, let's crank it up and have you perform that one. What's your guitar player's name?
Alex Labrie.
Alex. All right. Welcome to the show, my friend. And like I said, showing off the true skills that I can't do.
Me either. You don't want to hear me get on the guitar.
No, I've tried. I don't have the finger coordination to do all that. I don't.
No, me either. So, all right. Well, we'll get right into it. This one
Here
is
we go.
Somebody Will, and it's out on all streaming platforms. And hope you guys enjoy it.
Here we go.
I don't leave a toothbrush, and you never let me drive your truck. Your friends don't know a thing, but I bet your mom don't know a thing about us. You tell me that I look good in your sweatshirt, and you like who you are when we're together. Been looking for someone like me, say I make you better. Ooh, yeah. But you never kiss me in a crowded bar. Wanna keep me in the dark when nobody can see us. Always tied up in the middle of the day, but you text real late saying, hey baby, I need you. Ain't the kind of sometime that I'm trying to kill. Let it go if you don't let me for real. Cause it's a big old world and I know if you won't, ooh, somebody will. Oh, yeah, if you won't, somebody will hold the door open. Love it when I'm real outspoken. Drive me home in his t-shirt. I keep it cause he thinks that I'm a keeper. Eyes on me the whole time we're at a party. Never does shit where he has to say sorry. The more I think about it, the more I see it ain't him. Oh no. Cause you never kiss me in a crowded bar. Wanna keep me in the dark when nobody can see us. Always tied up in the middle of the day, but you text real late saying, hey baby, I need you. Ain't the kind of sometime that I'm trying to kill. Let it go if you don't let me for real. Cause it's a big old world and I know if you won't, ooh, somebody will. Oh, yeah, yeah, if you won't, somebody will. Oh, yeah. Sometimes you show up and act like my boyfriend. But boy, the truth is that you ain't my boyfriend. Cause you never kiss me in a crowded bar. Wanna keep me in the dark when nobody can see us. Always tied up in the middle of the day, but you text real late saying, hey baby, I need you. Ain't the kind of sometime that I'm trying to kill. Let it go if you don't let me for real. Cause it's a big old world and I know if you won't, ooh, somebody will. Oh, yeah, yeah, if you won't, somebody will. Oh, yeah.
That's why you leave the guitar playing to the professionals and the singing to the professionals here. Back on the Backstage Pass, Alex and Christina Taylor joining us here, promoting the latest single, Somebody Will, which is across all these streaming platforms. Beautiful song, sends a great message to people out there. Some great comments coming in. I know Bonnie was one of them there too. Definitely love the song so much. She was chiming in there. So thank you for tuning in. And of course, here's a familiar face some people might know. Yeah, that's we knew who that is. Love that artist. It's Kirsty Krause coming in there today too. And of course, Charlene tuning in. Okay, wants it. Yes, she is, no doubt. That's why she's got a parking spot here on the show as long as she wants it to. And Don, thanks for tuning in too. Appreciate that. Love the acoustic version. So keep the comments coming. We'll try to get to as many as we can. And of course, if you got a question about the song or anything that's Christina Taylor related today, feel free to ask that in the comment box. If I see it pop up on the screen, I will get to it as quick as I can. Hey, it was great to see, before I take a break, I wanted to get this in. It was great to see shows, pick back up over the last 2 or 3 months after we all went through. I know you and I talked probably just a little after the pandemic or what have you, the last time you came on. But how excited for you was it to get back on stage and do the intimate shows that people know you're known for when it comes to playing venues such as the Listening Room and the Bluebird and things like that you've done before? It's kind of a staple in the Nashville scene because everywhere you go on Broadway there, even some like Music Row, that kind of thing, there's musicians on every corner. How great is it to see the live shows pick back up and for you to be back on stage?
Oh my gosh, it feels so good. And, anyone who's been to Nashville knows that, Nashville's all about live music. That's what makes Nashville, Nashville. So it's really great to see the town come back to life. And, as an artist, it's great to be out there doing what I love most and interacting with people and having that personal connection with people because, it's great to post your stuff online. It's great to interact with people online, but there's always something special about, that in-person connection that you get when you get to play shows. So it's been great.
I love it too. And I can't wait to catch you when we get up there, hopefully for either the CMA Fest this year or definitely for us, CRS 2023, March 13th to 15th coming up next year at the Omni Hotel. We're going to be there as a media platform, no doubt. Well, quick time out here, and I'm going to come back. And I actually have a personal message from a friend of yours that told me to tell you to say hello. They came on the show just a couple of weeks ago. So it's a he. I'm going to give you a chance to think who that might be. But definitely he was on the show a couple of weeks ago promoting a new single. And you probably have an idea who it is, but he wanted me to tell you hello specifically and deliver that personal message to you. So definitely we'll come back with that. More with Christina Taylor. Again, the single is Somebody Will. You can give her a follow out there across all the socials if you haven't already. Fantastic artist out of Nashville, Tennessee. We'll come right back here. It's the Backstage Pass. A word from Bangtail Whiskey and MitchMacs. Hang tight.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And every day, sometimes 2 shows, and definitely 1 show every day between those hours of 3:30 and 6:30. 4 o'clock today, we're doing the Taylor 2-step here on the Backstage Pass. Alexis Taylor coming around here at 4 o'clock today. We'll talk about her new single and a whole lot more. Back here on the show, presented by Bangtail Whiskey, our good friends at MitchMacs.com. the official merchandise provider of the show. And, of course, Hank Jr. Productions. Appreciate all they do for the show out there to make it possible. Live on YouTube out there on the Backstage Pass YouTube channel. And, of course, at the website powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com. Back here with Christina Taylor on the show. All right, any guesses out there as to kind of me delivering a personal message of someone who wants to tell you hello?
I have a couple people that I'm thinking of in mind, but I think, is it Brett Kissel?
It is, because I was going to go there. She got it right. He told me to tell you hello because a lot of people know we were talking about this. He came on to talk about his latest single, Ain't the Same, which he did with 98 Degrees, a great pop band of all time. And he wanted me just to tell you hello to. And honestly, I was going to ask you to kind of set that up because it meant so much to you to get a hold of someone of that particular talent who's killing it in Canada and definitely made a name for himself really in Nashville, really in his home country, selling out shows and doing all kind of cool stuff. The song was As Good As You Look. You guys had a really cool chance to do a lot of cool things on there. I know you co-wrote that one. Just talk about working with such a talent in Brett and knowing that you've got that project for a lifetime.
Oh my gosh, it was insane. And even like when he agreed to do it, I was almost like, really? Are you sure he really said that he would do it? Just because, like you said, he is killing it in Canada. He was making a name for himself in the U.S. And he's someone I really look up to. And hearing his voice in the studio, because we actually got to record it together, was amazing. His voice truly is awesome, and he's the real deal. So I'm still so thankful that he jumped on that song with me. Like you said, I did get to co-write the song with Brett Anderson and Kelly Lovelace, who are great writers in town. So the song was always really, really good. I just remember being like, there's something missing. I wanted to put it out, but there was this piece that was missing, and Brett was that piece. So I'm very thankful for him.
Now, remember, I think you told me this last time, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I know this was going into, I guess, the pandemic starting, and I know you were kind of going, I believe it was your second season. Was this, it was the thing called Dirt Road Divas, if I remember. Is that correct? And you were going to do, I believe, a second season of it, kind of hosting that show. Where are you at? Is that still going to pick back up? Because I know I saw the first season. You did a hell of a job of it. I loved it.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, they're actually right now talking about how to make it happen now that, again, like you said, going into the pandemic, it kind of put the brakes on a second season, but we're actually looking into getting it going again. So hopefully we'll have more information on that soon. We don't have any hardcore details, in stone yet, but there is more info to come here soon.
Keep me posted on that so I can put it on my pages and all my good stuff out there, because I would love to share it. The first, guys, if you have checked out that first season, you might want to go do that, because I thought it was fantastic. And you as a host, I mean, you're a natural out there. You're a great singer, and you could host this show. I definitely
am a talker. I like to talk, so I didn't have a lot of issues with that. And it was really cool. We got to have such awesome talent on that show. Like the amount of talented women we got on that show was just insane. So I'm really excited for a second season, and there's a lot more details to come here soon.
Can't wait for that. Like I said, send them my way. We'll definitely put them on the website and put them up on social media out there so people can definitely check that out. You know, what's really awesome is when you guys get to step out there with some of the people that you looked up to, like I said, the big headliners. You've had different roles where you've been on with, I know, Keith Urban, Tour, Rascal Flatts, Low Cash, all these great artists out there to open for. And some people say it's like going back to school. And we've talked about this, I know, a couple times on the show, but does it ever just like get to you and say, man, I've had all this opportunity and great success in music with a long way to go in my career. I've been successful, and you've been doing this professionally since you were 18, but I mean, amazing names to step on the stage with, right?
Oh my gosh, crazy. And, I had the opportunity almost to open up for Pitbull and Tim McGraw. And my set ended up getting rained out. There was a big storm. And so it was a bummer, but it was still such a great learning experience. When you say it's kind of like going back to school when you're stepping on the stage with these guys, getting to watch them perform from backstage, seeing how professional they are, seeing how, they are true performers. Like they know what they're doing. This is like second nature to them. Like they don't even think about it when they go up there. So seeing them go up and kill it was just definitely a motivator for me. And I learned a lot from watching them on the stage. So it was cool. It ended up being good. I'm upset that I didn't get to actually perform, but I got to meet both of them. They were very nice, and getting to, sit backstage and kind of take notes on their process was really cool.
There's been a cool wave of just this, the power in country. What I love about it too is just, and somebody every day pops in my inboxes to get to know a new artist. And I think a lot of it too has been these platforms such as Idol and The Voice and America's Got Talent. Truly, and I've spoken many times on this program about those being great platforms for some artists, not all, for many artists who may not have a chance. What's your thoughts on some of this talent now that's coming off of these reality shows?
I mean, I think there's a lot of talent coming off of them. I mean, look at Morgan Wallen, you know, I'm pretty sure he was on The Voice. Like, look, and he didn't end up winning, but look at what he was able to do after the fact. So like you said, I think that there are certain artists that thrive on a show like that, and there's some who don't. I personally don't see myself going on a show like that. I've tried out for them, and I had a lot of fun. But, yeah, I think it's just for some people and not for others, so.
That's a good way to put it too, and that leads me into like talking about the wave of country music now, as far as the female side of things go. Because you look up now and you look at the success Gabby Barrett has had. You look at the success of a Ashley McBride, Carly Pierce, all this great talent coming up, and even some mixed groups. Like I said, just a trio of sisters. I can't remember their name right now, but it's escaping me. It'll probably hit me in a second. But I mean, just so much talent out there, and to have that movement where I go back to the '90s. And you remember all that great music that came out of the 90s country era into that early 2000s, and even a little bit past that, till about 05, 06. And it's amazing, this women of country music, and you see this push now of all these great ladies. Stephanie Quayle, there's one that comes to mind. All these people out there doing their thing as the next women of CMT's next women of country. I mean, you right there, in my mind, as a superstar, to be included in those conversations of the type of media for you, and this to see this women of country music movement, if you will. What does that mean to you?
Oh my gosh, it means so much to me. Again, like looking up to the Shania Twains and, you know, all the big female artists coming up in country music when I was younger. It's really cool now, kind of full circle moment to see myself be, you know, I don't know if I'm completely in the up and comers yet, but I do see myself being in the movement of women that are coming up in country music. So it is kind of a full circle moment to, you know, be there. You know, I dreamed of being in the position that I'm in now for a long time. So it's really cool to see women have a voice in country music and tell their stories and through their songs and showcase their talents. So it's really awesome.
You know, another cool song that you did was that I love so much was American Dreamin', and I told myself I was going to ask her about it today. Break down that one for me, kind of give me kind of a cool backstory. I think we talked about it before, but that's always just one of my favorite songs that you did. And honestly, if anybody hears that even for the first time or multiple times, they get the gist of that song. Yeah.
So I didn't write that song, but when I heard it, obviously immediately fell in love with it as an American who's proud to be an American. It was just really cool to see an empowering song for our country. And I feel like it's a song that really brings people together and reminds people like we really are living in the best country in the world. I know that we're not perfect, but we are the best country in the world. And I think it serves as a great reminder. And I'm really proud that I got to release that song.
I tell you one that you had fun with, and I loved it too, off one of the records you put out. And I remember the title just as yesterday, That Girl. Yeah. I just love the fact that you had put that out. Just a fun tune to kind of put out there for all the ladies out there too at the same time. Where I guess when and where was that one born?
That was actually the first song I ever wrote in Nashville when I got to Nashville. So I was going through a breakup, my first breakup, and I found myself being a crazy person. I was looking at his social media, wondering what he was doing at all hours of the day, and I told myself, I would never be that girl when you're not in this situation and you're kind of an outsider looking in. You're like, that girl's crazy. I'll never be her. And then you get put in a situation to be that girl and you're like, how did I get here? So I wanted to put that song out as like hey, no shame. We've all been there. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and you don't have to keep being that girl. You don't have to keep, being upset with your breakup. You can move on, and you can move on from the guy that didn't treat you right and not be that girl anymore. You can be the girl that you want to be.
Such a great song, and it sends a great message. And for people out there that haven't heard that one, go back in the archives and get some of that old good stuff, Christina Taylor music out there too. You get across streaming. So definitely, that's one of the cool things I get to do. People say that your job is to do that. Yeah, I get to review songs at all day of the hours when I feel like it and when I want to. And before I take the next break, I want to make this special announcement because having you on this means a lot too. And I'm going to do this again with Alexis today too at the same time. And pretty much just talk about some fond memories. This past weekend, we've been through hell and back when it comes to losing some of the greats in the industry. And I do want to say this again. Two of the greats we lost this past week, last week into this week. Naomi Judd, my heart goes out to her family. When you got that news, I know, again, that's one of the iconic figures of country music and people that grew up listening to the Judds and knowing that they were there. What was your first reaction? And I know, just like everybody else, you had to be heartbroken.
Oh my gosh, my first reaction was a gasp. I almost didn't believe it, just because sometimes, things circulate on the web and they're not obviously true. So I remember immediately going to Google it to see if there was any other outlets reporting on it. And I did see multiple outlets reporting on it at the time. And I just remember being in disbelief. And I think a lot of her fans could probably say the same thing. I don't think anyone wanted to believe it. And, my heart goes out to her family. And, we lost a very talented, woman of, the industry. Yeah, it was very heartbreaking.
Well, again, my prayers go out to her family. The other one I wanted to speak on behalf of is because I was listening back to a show that we did about a year and a half ago when he came on. The great Mickey Gilley lost his life this past weekend. So Urban Cowboy and, of course, his club in Pasadena. I used to work over there for years. So my heart, my prayers. I talked to his publicist today. We're good friends, Zach Farnham over at 117. I shared my interview this morning. So if you guys missed that back then, it was one of the best shows that I had done. So go check that out on the Facebook pages. And, of course, Mickey Gilley. Gone too soon from us at 86 years old, but definitely, like I said, just heart and prayers and thoughts are with the Gilley family, and I got to know his publicist and some of the family members, and definitely thank you for all the contributions you gave to music, Mickey. There had to be another one too, because I was that same one. Saturday, my mom sends me kind of this information, and I'm going, and it's just a shock because I'm like, you're talking to somebody one day, it just goes to show you how precious life is, because we don't know when the last calling is going to be, and we only get this ride through one time. When you got the news on Mickey, was it kind of the same disbelief?
Yeah, it's just the same disbelief. And like you said, it really reminds you how short life is. And so to not take it for granted, live in these moments, be present in these moments, which can be hard with social media. And, it's just hard. It can be hard sometimes to be present where you are. But when things like that happen, it really, teaches you to really love life and appreciate where you're at when you're there. And enjoy the journey.
That's it. And like I said, love what you do and do it to the best 110% every day. So again, our condolences and our thoughts and prayers from the Backstage Pass family, myself, Kirsty, Nick Canizales, all go out to the Naomi Judd family, the Judds, and of course the family of Mickey Gilley. And again, appreciate the contributions made to music and Lifetime Achievement Awards and the works. The body of works speak for themselves, no doubt about it. One final time out here from the Backstage Pass, of course, and Christina Taylor coming back. We'll do rapid fire to finish up. We change a couple of questions, and we'll do some funny stuff there and have a little fun here at the end here. One more final time out for Bangtail Whiskey, and, of course, 4 o'clock today, Alexis Taylor's Taylor two-step on the Backstage Pass. Be sure to stay tuned for that. Presented by Bangtail Whiskey, MitchMacs.com, and our good friends at Hank Jr. Productions. Hang tight. One final timeout. Back with Christina in a flash.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. Head back on the show live on the SportsGuysPodcast.com, and, of course, the Backstage Pass YouTube channel. Christina Taylor joining us here. We're talking about the latest single, Somebody Will, across all the platforms. Make sure you guys go check that out wherever you download or stream your music, and appreciate her time today. Of course, coming up here in a little bit, the Taylor two-step continues. The Nashville recording artist Alexis Taylor is going to join us here on the broadcast. If you guys have any comments, feel free to ask the questions. Final segment, rapid fire. So I love to have fun with this. And, every time you come on, you enlighten me and you make me laugh, which is the fun thing and why I invented this segment here on the program, no doubt about it. Let's talk about this latest cuisine, food that you're getting into cooking. I know for me, it's been like a lot of carbs and pasta, which is probably the worst things to have, but I love doing spaghetti. When you guys get a chance to have a night in, what do you enjoy cooking?
I really just enjoy cooking a bunch of different things. I try to be as healthy as possible, but I do like cooking like the occasional pasta or cookie. I love carbs. So, but for the majority of the time, I do like cooking as healthy as possible. And I really have tried to get into meal prepping is really what I do. So it's not necessarily anything extravagant, but like one of the things that we've been hooked on is I found this like sheet pan recipe on YouTube, and it's basically turkey sausage, red bell pepper, what else? Sweet potato and onion. And you basically olive oil, salt, pepper, garlic powder, toss it all together, put it on a sheet pan, bake it at, I want to say 400 degrees for about 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. And it is amazing. And it will literally last you 4 or 5 days out of the week. So yeah, I've been really into meal prepping and trying to make me feel like I have my life together a little bit.
Well, I tell you what, you sent me that recipe. Like I said, I want to check that out because I'm looking for something new and kind of a dish to throw together, which is something like you said, mix it all up in the skillet, throw it in the oven, let it come out, and just get tear right into it. So please send me that recipe so I can check that out too. All right, I always talk about this from time to time. What's your favorite car that you either own or that you went on a lot and you were like, you know what, I may not be able to afford that one, but I just want to test drive that one, and you did it? Did you ever test drive one?
No, I've test driven a car that I ended up buying.
Okay.
It wasn't my favorite car. I will say my favorite car that I've ever owned was actually the first car, and it was a hand-me-down car from my dad. My first car was a 1997 Chevy Silverado, and it was the best car, and I had a lot of fun with it. It was like a 2-door. It didn't even have like the 4 doors, but some reason all my friends always wanted to take my car everywhere. And I ended up totaling it in high school, unfortunately, because it was so old that they did not make the airbags for it anymore. So they couldn't end up fixing it. So I still think about that car to this day and wish I still had it.
I love that too. You're right. Those old cars that you don't realize at the age when you get it, you're like, oh, it's a piece of. Then you get older, you're like, I'm just glad I had a car.
Yes,
when I got a chance to get. I had me down. For me, it was like it's still that Toyota family, but it's like I loved it because I've been a Toyota guy and of course Honda, but a '97 Toyota Camry, and I still remember that as it was yesterday. Just one of those cars you just had fun in. It drove smooth, and all you had to do was take care of the oil changes. It gets you a set of tires and then keep it going too. All right, what's the favorite flavor of ice cream for Christina Taylor?
I am so boring. My favorite flavor of ice cream is vanilla. Like just plain old vanilla. It's always been since I was a little girl. I always opt for vanilla. And also probably my favorite brand of vanilla is Bluebell. Vanilla ice cream is like, I literally have it in my freezer right now. I always have ice cream in my freezer because it's my favorite thing in the entire world. So yep.
I love that. All right. Dream destination vacation. You don't have to do anything else but take you and the hubby. Where would you guys go?
I've always wanted to go to Switzerland. I think it'd be really cool to go there. Fun fact about me and my fiance is we're terribly scared of flying. So I don't know if we'll ever make it to Switzerland, but maybe we'll just knock ourselves out with a couple drinks one day and get on the plane and sleep the whole way there. I don't know.
I was going to say, bring you a little bit of melatonin, get on the plane, you'd be all right too. Let it fall asleep pretty fast. I love this. And Bonnie's saying this one here. Okay, car wise, the VW. Oh, well, okay, convertible. What a great car it is. That's another one that's we've not had that on the show when it comes to that too. I've had Lamborghini, I've had a couple others I think I've had. So Lamborghini just comes to mind as one the other day. But that was just a test drive. They're like, we knew we couldn't afford it going in, but I'm just going to do it anyway just because I say I test drove that thing. Hey, I tell you what, I love everything about your music. I'm a huge fan of yours, and of course a lot of media has gotten behind you. Somebody Will is the current single across all the platforms, just came out there last Friday before Mother's Day. I hope all the moms had a good Mother's Day out there. Thanks so much for making time for me as always. Hey, continued success going forward. You deserve so much and then some coming your way. And again, just thank you for making time here on the platform, and I hope you had a great time as always.
Had a great time. Thank you so much for having me back on. And I have more music coming out this year. So if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, you can find me at Christina Taylor Music, TikTok, Christina Taylor Music. Pretty much if you look up Christina Taylor, you'll find me there, and hopefully I'll be back on to promote the next couple songs that I've got coming out.
She will definitely be back on because I own this platform and this is my thing. She will definitely be back on to promote the latest singles. Reserved parking spot here. Like I said, all it takes is a couple of emails. You text me anytime, and definitely can't wait for the new music. As Don's already saying there in the comment box, we're all ready for that too. Superstar in the making right here. We find him on the Backstage Pass, and of course somebody that if not right now, we'll be in that conversation of these award shows coming up over the next 3 to 5 years. I can't wait for you to step on stage and do something at the Opry, Academy of Country Music Awards, and of course the CMA Awards are going to be that name we call over the next 5 years. And I've made some bold predictions here on the show, so I stand by all the predictions I make. So I cannot wait for you to be in that category. We're doing that here. Coming up here, a little bit of Alexis Taylor on the Backstage Pass. It's a Taylor two-step for a Monday. Hope everybody had a great Mother's Day, of course. Thanks to all the sponsors out there. We'll see you guys here in a little bit live on YouTube, on the Backstage Pass YouTube channel, and, of course, at the sportsguyspodcast.com. Big win for the Astros yesterday. Got to go to the game. Enjoy it with the family. Of course, 7 wins in a row. They take the day off. They face the Minnesota Twins coming up tomorrow night in Minnesota. So definitely always a fun time there. We'll see you guys with Alexis here in a little bit. And, of course, shows all week at 4 o'clock coming up Tuesday through Friday of this week here on the Backstage Pass. Until then, have a great evening, and we'll see you here in a little bit.